That was a test. Yeah. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's the 11th of August. We're filming here in the beautiful surroundings around Centre Parks here in Longford. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get permission to film within the boundaries, but we've done the next best thing, and we've also done a little tour of the cycle paths around here. Now, Podgy, of course, as usual, was late and wasn't available for filming, but myself and Jimmy, we took up the mantle and we carried on in Podgy's absence. So join us now in a couple of minutes. We're off for a little bit of a cycle. You'll see us now shortly, and we'll discuss all the crack and all the news from the GA here in Longford over the last week. What's with the umbrellas, lads? Men from Granard and yous. Welcome back, folks. As usual, we're joined with Jimmy Jest, stand-up comedian, and Bernie assessor. A bearer assessor. And we have Podgy O'Brien, still in his old position of sports editor with the Longford Leader, and myself, Mick Conlon. A little recap of all the results. So Clongish just about beat Abilara in a thrilling encounter. Clongish just got a last gasp winner at the very end against the defending champions Abilara. Rathcline had a dominant performance and a comprehensive victory over Father Manning Gales. Carrick-Edmond scored 5 goals to seal a 19-point win against
Mostrom.
Oh, Mostrom. Sorry, I forgot about that, Jimmy. I didn't, because it's not mentioned here. Columkill had a commanding performance and sealed a comfortable win eventually over St Mary's of Granard. Mullinagh narrowly beat Slashers by 1 point, a tense affair. Killow beat Drumard by 7 points. Okay, lads, so can we first of all look at the table again as usual, and just, Jimmy, I'll ask you to go through Group A. Is that okay?
Yeah, Group A. Well,
and just tell us again who is above or below or on par with what you'd expect.
Yeah, well, at the minute it's Columkill on top with 6, then Killow on 5, Drumard on 4, Carrick-Edmond on 3, and Granard and Mostrom propping up the bottom of the table on 0 points. I think this group is finished. You know,
the results are in.
Carrick-Edmond are playing Granard on Friday night. If Carrick-Edmond win that, there's the quarter-final places decided. So,
and is there a possibility
not if Carrick-Edmond win that, they're on 5. Drumard have already beaten Granard and Mostrom. They have to play each other, Granard and Mostrom, so there's no chance. So it'll be over Friday night if Carrick-Edmond beat Granard.
Right, and what are the chances that Granard could beat Carrick-Edmond?
Well, in current form, I don't think they have much hope.
Yeah.
They haven't been playing well, and Carrick-Edmond have been playing exceptionally well.
Right, and at the top of that group then we have Columkill and Killow. So that's about what most would have expected, yes?
You'd expect those two. You'd expect Drumard to be up there, and then at the start of the year it was going to be a toss-up between Carrick-Edmond, Granard and Mostrom, but Carrick-Edmond have no doubt deserved to be in 4th place, and at this stage they deserve their quarter-final place. For Mostrom and Granard, it's been disappointing, and barring a miracle, Podgy, there's no hope. No hope for either of those. So they're going to be facing into a.
Unless, of course, Granard win their last 2 games, and Carrigammon obviously would lose to.
Yeah, well,
If Carrigammon lost to Granard and then lost to Remard, then Granard will go to 4.
Yeah.
And then Granard will go through. But it's clutching at straws, that one, Mick.
That's unlikely.
You know.
Benny, Podgy, you might look at Group B then and just go through the numbers for us first of all.
Well, Clongish are top, and that's no great surprise. The only thing is that they've floated through the 2 previous games against Slashers and Mullinachta. Wasn't the same story there against Abilara. I was at this. This is a very topsy-turvy game, and but
You described it as in the paper. How did you describe it, Podgy?
There's that many matches. It's kind of hard to remember.
I agree with you. I can't remember.
No, look at it. It was the best game in the championship so far.
Was it? Yeah.
Put it that way.
Yeah.
So, and Rathline continued on their merry ways. They need enough win over. I heard the Gales done their best in the second half to make a fist of it, but like they're never going to take Rathline. They were very much the informed team, along with Clongish. And then you have a battle royal. Then for there's 2 positions left out of 3. And Abilara play Mullinachta at the weekend. Now that's a dog-eat-dog one. And Slashers play Rathline. But no matter what happens in them matches, it's going to go down to the wire.
Oh, yeah.
Abilara playing Slashers in the last round. So Slashers are the team in trouble, but if results went their way and they ended up beating Abilara in the last round, which is a big if, they'd go through in the head-to-head possibly. Or even you could have 3 teams, them 3 teams finish on the same number of points. And then it comes down to score difference. You know, so at least that one will go to the end anyway.
Yeah.
As Jimmy says, the Group A is more or less done and dusted. No, unless Granard turn around and beat Carrigammon, but I think Carrigammon have a score to settle, haven't they?
They have, and the only thing to worry about Carrigammon is it's a 5-day turnaround from Sunday evening to Friday evening. It's strange to put the Sunday evening team back on again on Friday, like the last game of the weekend and the first game of the next. But they weren't strained too much against Edgerton, so and he rolled in subs there, so I'd say it'll be fine.
Okay.
McCormack, he says they were going for a dip in the inning after the match on Sunday evening. That's what they were doing.
Podgy, I'm just going to ask you, because you're at the match, Clongish and Abilara match. The thrilling encounter is what I got back from ChatGPT, and Clongish just scored a last gasp winner at the very end.
Very funny game this week because Abilara went 7 points up and then close to that stage, you know, they were playing with a decent enough breeze, and then Abby got a black card. What you call it, Cal Gilligan, who was their goal scorer, got a black card, so he was gone for 10 minutes, and then there was a penalty in the 4th minute of stoppage time. Now, Abilara were very angry with this because they felt it wasn't a penalty. I think it was for a foul on Michael Flynn, and they were trying to work it out. Was there any foul committed at all? But look, it was given, and these things happen in games. There's some penalties given, there's some not, and it was converted. And all of a sudden, it's only 2 points in at half time, and then Clongish had a great start to the second half, and actually went from 7 down to 6 up. And then Abbey comes back again and got a goal from Jason Kelly. Led by a point, as Jimmy predicted last week. Abbey Larabara by a point. A brave call, I said at the time. It looked like he was going to get it right. And then Clongish, which I liked about Clongish was the fact a few years ago, or maybe not so that long ago, they'd never come back. But they came back and they got 2 points, one from Michael Flynn, and then young Hagan, James Hagan, kicked the winner, and with that went the final whistle.
You have a good picture in the paper, Podgy, taken by Sil
Healy.
Yeah, you have a good picture in the paper taken by Sil Healy, Podgy, of Liam Belton and John Twaddle there, looking very concerned at some stage during the match. I don't know whether it was in the middle, near the end, or whatever, but I'm sure they were worrying.
Well, wouldn't you be worried if you were 7 points down? Just when you mentioned Sil there, Sil Healy is unbelievable because he's covering nearly every match, and he was doing golf classic launches, and It was even in Kilbeggan Saturday evening that there was a do for Barney Kenny.
Well, I'll tell you now, better what, Padgy, about Saturday. I was doing PA for the community games over in Athlone at the regional final. Sil was doing the photography at that.
Phil was doing.
I went to the Longford Town match that evening, and Sil was there. I know you're telling me he was in Kilbeggan as well.
Before that, and then he left. And then he.
Well, on Sunday he was at the Recline match. Obviously, he's the secretary there, but the LGFA. And then he said he was going to 2 of the men's intermediate matches, and that he'd have to stagger it, go maybe to the first half one, and then try and get to the second half the other.
Brilliant,
So
brilliant
as a
and
fellow
he's
says,
very easy man to work with. If we'll work it out. It still does both 2 halves in a night. You know, which is a fair call, like to go from one venue to another, providing they're close at hand. And kind of an unsung hero in many ways, like because I mean, the picture tells their own story, and still has been taken plenty of them, and very good photographer, and well done to him.
Yeah.
very good. Jimmy, Rathline and Father Manning Gales. So
Recline and Father Manning Gales. And again, I wasn't at it, but I did watch a good bit of it back on Clubber. Recline really started so well in the first half, and I know they did concede 19 points. It might be a little bit of a concern from Garrett Johnson conceding 19 points. They were never in danger. They really had the game won. I think they got all 4 goals in the first half.
That's correct.
You know, I think the game was well done and dusted at half time for them, and maybe took their foot off the pedal a little bit, but they still clocked up 4-17, and they're clocking up huge scores, like, you know, and not conceding an awful lot apart from those 19 points. Up to that, they had only conceded 21 the first 2, so you know, it's Klein are going well. Everybody's being kept fit, which is very important for them. If they can keep Shane Kenny and Irla Sullivan and those main men fit, you know, they're going to be. And if they can get you know, if they can. And by the way it's looking, well, they are going to finish second, you'd imagine, or first.
Or first.
First or second. So they'll hopefully for them they might get a quarter final against either Carrick-Edmond or Dramard, which would probably suit them better than Columkill or Kilo. But they dominated the game for most of the time. You've got to give credit to Father Manning Gales, you know, and Trevor Clending, and that it's going bad for them, but they didn't throw the towel in, and they clocked up scores and got 19 points for themselves on a day that, you know, and just a season that's not going well for them. And it's tough coming up for intermediate and trained.
And Aaron Kenny, he was the star man. He scored 1-9, which you see, this 2-pointer thing is huge. You could be behind all of a sudden, kick 2 or 3 2-pointers in quick succession.
and I notice in most of the matches that most teams have a player who can, you know, do the 2-pointers.
Oh yeah, well, and Recline they have more than one, more than Aaron Kenny. They have Shane as well, and they have a lot of fellas putting in the hard yards in the half hour, and like Keane Gilmore and guys like that. You know what I mean? Like, to even have Shane Donoghue in reserve. Now Shane was dogged with injury over the years, but like they would prefer to hold him in reserve, and it can be a bit of a game changer then when needed.
Yeah,
You know, so there was a time when Shane Kenny would be the first name on the sheet,
absolutely.
and now they can afford to keep him in reserve. You know.
Folks, we're just going to interrupt our transmission here because we have 3 dogs and their parents.
Westmead dogs.
That's Westmead dogs.
Westmead dogs. You can imagine that. Yeah, do you want to say hello to the crowd? Yeah.
The dogs.
But
Just to prove that we were here.
But the underLAP is a Longford GEA website. But the team that doesn't go for the 2-pointers doesn't score them. And there's a lot of teams are not going for them and not taking that risk. And the teams that are full of confidence and going at it, like Rathline, like Carrick-Edmond, you know, like Clongish, they're going at it and they're getting rewarded for taking those risks. Other teams are sitting back, and you can see the results.
can we go on to the next match, Jimmy, yourself there? Columkill and Granard, same here as Granard.
Yeah.
You were at that, Padgy.
I was at that.
Oh, you were, sorry. Jimmy.
I'd have to say I was impressed with Columkill. They were 5 points down. Again, these 2-pointers comes into play, and all of a sudden they're back in. I think they hit the crossbar 3 times as well. And Barry McKeown scored 1-10. But Declan Riley controlled matters, as he does. Amazing. I think he's 40 years of age. I was talking to his father, Francie. Francie's a great McGraw character.
Oh, no.
He's a small little man, but he'd be there. He nearly was like a statue outside. He always collects the money at the gate. But when he sees me coming, he always puts the head down. No, I've nothing on him, but
You don't know, you might have.
I do be slagging him, you know. And Francie just gets on with it, like, you know, quiet man and all that. But says very little when I'm around, like, you know.
Or something
But
there.
as I say, sure, he'd never miss a game with the young fella playing, like, you know. But Granada have a lot of injury problems and missing other players as well for different reasons. And Darren Gallagher, he wasn't as dominant the last days he would have been. So once Darren goes over again, Granada go with him.
Yeah, but it was strange their selection. I don't know whether Michael Hines was injured or Liam Sullivan was injured, but neither of those started. Maybe it was. It was good to see Mark Tully back. Now he came on
the second half.
He's a big player for them. If they get him back, match fit and that, he missed a lot of the year. You know, so it's good to see him back. But and I said at the start of the season, and I predicted that Granard would be maybe a surprise package. To be in a surprise package, the wrong way around, unfortunately. But when I look at the team sheet for
They're
Granard,
better than that.
they're better than that.
That's
They
right.
are. And they're better players. And again, Ben Blessington was a very lively spot. I've mentioned him in every podcast, I think, so far, but he really is a prospect for them. You know, the two Kieran is down in the wing. I think James Kieran is better off central than on the wing, but I think Harry is better off further forward. But look, I'm not the manager, but I just think on paper they're better than the results they're getting them, and maybe they'll have a kick in them Friday night.
Yeah, maybe. And Colin Kill look good now. They had other players back, like Jack Mackin came back, and Vinnie Horrigan was back, and Cathal McCabe was back after a lengthy injury absence with the county. Vinnie was back as well. Like, you know, I think they were only missing Enda Mackin, which we were called regulars.
Yeah, the goalie got injured. Noel Farrell.
Noel has been playing a while. Young Ryan Farrell was playing in the goals. And just on that again, another unsung hero I'd like to give her a mention is Joanne Scandon. And Joanne is, we'll call her a Jackie of all trades. She does the club notes, the social media. She
knows which are there going around
sure,
the matches as well.
that's right.
Is her position PRO or is she?
Well, PRO is the secretary is nearly everything now in any organisation. And if you have a good grasp of social media, then that's the best person for the job. But and she's a very nice person. Actually, I did say to her one time, look, I said to Benny, look at this PR. And she said to me, it's a long time since it was called that, she said.
Jimmy, you might go at the Mullinagh to Slashers game.
Yeah, I did the commentary on that one there on Friday night there in Edgeworthstown. This is a good championship tussle now. You know, you were at it there, Parrick, as well. It was and again went one way, went the other. You know, and in the end could have went either way. And probably the Slashers had enough of the play to win this one. But for a couple of real good saves. Luke Meehan made a couple of real good saves. Simon Cadden made a point blank block on another ball. James Rogers did the same. They just Mullinagh just wouldn't lay down and let them score them goals. They stopped them several times. And as I was saying to Parry at half time, if Mullinagh are within a point or two of you with 10 minutes going down the track, you know, the last 10 minutes are very hard to get the better of, and that's the way because Slashers held a 2-point lead at half time, but then didn't score for, I think, was it 15 minutes of the second half, and Mullinagh got on top, and I think went 4 or 5 points. Cian Mackey got a goal. You know, no, Slashers did, and Sean Morgan was very impressed with him. Sean Morgan, he had a great game. And your own nephew there in the middle of the field, he was throwing himself around.
It was probably his best game so far in the championship.
Sean played very well.
But Sean Morgan went off injured now very early in the game.
Sean Morgan, who was the lad that scored the goal?
Sean Clark.
Sean Clark.
Yeah, be a brother of the manager Connor. That was training Slashers ready to win the All Ireland. They took the lead in the 56 minutes with Gary Rogers. Gary's back from Australia.
Yeah.
And they defended like dogs then for to hold on to that one. Like Slashers could not get through for an equaliser. Even a point maybe would have done the job.
And Peter Lynn was making great runs.
He was, but going over and back.
Yeah.
To couldn't get through.
But Aidan McGilligan had a great first half. He caught some great balls
That's
there,
right.
and he was a big addition to them.
Yeah, and he missed the last 2 games.
Yeah, and Niall Woods came up with a couple of great
No,
points.
he was good too now, Niall
So
Woods.
like they're still in it.
What did Evan give me say to you after he says, look, once we're in the quarter final, that's all.
Well, he says we'll worry about more or less what James. I'll give him man of the match. Scored 6 points, had a great game as well. He says, look at when we get to the quarter final. So that's what they're thinking. They're not thinking that we're going to be in a relegation battle. They're in it for quarter final.
So
well, Podgy, finally, we'll go to you on this one. Give Jimmy a break. Might be getting flack for being honest or whatever, but Carrick-Edmond and Mostrom. What's your take?
no,
on
I
it?
wasn't. Patrick Cahill done that one for me. But as I say, I'm not surprised at Carrick-Edmond. Carrick-Edmond fought up to every team in the championship last year, and drew with maybe 3 draws out of 5. And then what happened after then, we all know the controversy, and now they have the chance to redeem themselves. And as Jimmy says, on the book, you'd fancy Carrick-Edmond. So, but they've good forwards, Jimmy.
Look at Owen McCormick scored 2-2.
Aidan Maguire was another good. Kyle Kenny, I heard he played well. Kyle Kenny.
Kyle Kenny was flying up and down. Brian Mulvey, great game. Liam Glennon, great game. Liam Fard. Owen McCormick was man of the match in that one, and I said to him, he had no real. I said, would your dad be trying to analyse he'd be looking for the negatives, and I said to Owen, there weren't any negatives from the Carrick-Edmond point of view, because it was an all-round performance from the start to the finish. They dominated every position. There were never in any danger, really, you know. And I'm not going to criticise my own club, you know. They're struggling for numbers, struggling for confidence at the minute, and you know they're just going to have to try and, you know, the Kilo at the weekend. Look at, you know, but they're going to have to look at the round robin and the relegation and try and get 2 wins there somewhere.
Kilo and they're gradually peaking, and have their players back too, a bit like Colmkill.
Danny Mimna will be back.
Danny's back. He's actually back, and he'll probably be playing Saturday night. They're playing Edgestown on Saturday night, so there won't be any mercy shown there, because whoever finishes top will more than likely avoid Clongish or Redline. But as I say, Colmkill and them now, they're battling it out for top spots. So it's either you have 4 teams there. You have Rathline and Clongish, and you have Colmkill and Kilo. But I still wouldn't write off Abilara, because they showed an awful lot of battle the other day against Clongish. Now this is a Clongish team that hammered Slashers and hammered Mullinlock, but they had a good game plan. Frankie Dolan, the manager, and they executed well. They should have gotten at least a draw of it, like, you know. But as I say, I would expect them to beat Slashers, to be honest with you, in the last match. But strangest things have been known to happen.
Lads, just to get off this track, we're here just outside Centre Parks, folks, and I know for a fact 10 years ago, if you said to somebody that, you know, you'd have an awful lot of people from the continent, the European continent, travelling to Ballymahon to have a stay in a luxury resort, you know, you'd have been laughed at. Jimmy, you've stayed in the resort. What have you made of it?
I've only done a day trip. They wouldn't let me stay overnight. I had to get out
and that's understandable.
I had to get out before nightfall, you know. But I'm going back to why they picked Ballymahon and why they picked Newcastle Forest for this luxurious resort, as you call it. Because they said if people come here, they won't leave because there's nothing else around it, you know. Wants to come in here, nothing else to do.
Now, Jimmy, I'm just going to tell you, I'm going to warn you, you're going to have to be very careful with your words, Jimmy.
No, but I'll tell you what, it's a brilliant resort, and that's only a bit of crack. I've relations, a sister of a nephew working in there, you know. There's busloads being brought in from Edgestown, from Granard, from everywhere to work here. Yeah. And it's just, and being in there, like, it's a different world. Like, you can travel 15 minutes and, you know, you're in a
this week
world.
I'm on holidays, but unlike Jimmy, I didn't desert the campaign. I have come out from my holiday inside, but I have to say...
well, you had to come like a 20-minute drive. You had to jump the fence.
I have to say...
He's barred already.
He's barred already, wasn't he, in the chair?
Well,
that's what you get for knowing Mick the
Jimmy,
trick.
I just wonder the costs of it all. Yeah. So we have 4 or 3 nephews down with us, and a couple of friends. So there's 7 of us all together, and it's costing for the 4 nights $3 grand.
Wow.
Oh.
Now compare that to your recent holiday to.
Yeah, well, I spent 10 nights in Salou in an apartment with flights accommodation. It was 4,500 for the 10 nights.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, so if you were to compare and contrast, is there any comparison, or is it a different fish?
Well, I suppose for the people who can go off season in here, you get better value, you know. But if you're going at this time of year, of course, it's but the facilities in there are second to none.
Oh, absolutely
And the
unreal.
occupancy is high.
Yes.
So that the tail is
And that's
there.
the whole year round.
Yeah, whole year round. The
Well,
occupancy
It's
is
not,
high.
it's not a seasonal thing.
No, and Christmas will be booked out. People come there and spend Christmas in it, and Christmas dinner and the whole lot, you know.
Yeah.
You know, so that's the proof, isn't it? You know,
It's great to see it
Republic of
actually. They think that you go to buy here and all of a sudden you have a resort in the middle of the forest.
You
in
can
County
spend the whole
Downford.
day in the swimming pool, you know, and the rapids and the waves.
Yeah. Well, as you speak, some of my nephews are in there, and they're in a cabana. Now, I don't know whether it's a Coca cabana, because they haven't been in it themselves yet.
Barry Manilow in there.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. But even outside here, we were cycling around, well, myself and Jimmy were cycling around. Podgy arrived too late. But it's fantastic.
That's what we saw in the ditch below on the corner.
But we were cycling around, and there's fantastic cyclists and all that. And you can join on to the canal as well. You know, it's amazing. All these facilities that have been there, you know, and now they're open to people from much further away, you know. It's just great to see. Yes, and they've accommodation and all that.
Listen, if you're giving this place an awful lot of plugs, you're getting this place for nothing.
No, but I'd like to thank Ballymahon Cyclists for giving us a loan of their what do we call it, their electric bikes. And
Far too heavy. I actually a bit of an accident out here. I'm thinking of putting a claim in, to be honest. But a fella hit the day. I hit the ground and luckily I was used to falling over the years, so I won't hurt myself. But
well, I was with a cardiologist only a week ago, and he said, we look after, he says, but you could walk out that door and get a heart attack. Well, I nearly got a heart attack when Podgy fell off that bike. I says to myself, what insurance have you got, Jimmy?
Cardiologist, he make cardigans, or what does he do?
No, he just dresses up in fancy.
bike's very heavy bike.
Can we move on, lads, and preview the coming weekend matches? So you might take one there.
Well, sure, we'll start there Friday night. You have 2 games, one in each group. So Friday night you've Carrickebban and Granard. We touched on it already, I suppose. This is Carrickebban goes into a quarter final if they win. Granard go into relegation if they lose. Granard haven't performed yet. Maybe there's a kick in them, but I don't think the way Carrickebban are playing, I don't think Granard. I'd say Carrickebban by 3 or 4 points.
Podgy, Colmkill and Germard.
Well, there's another match there Friday evening, Clonkish and Fanamani Gales. Look at it, sure, at this stage, Fanamani Gales they're out, like, you know, you can say they're out, and this is going to be a handy one for Clonkish. And I suppose after the scare that got last week, they'll probably be relieved in ways. So I expect a very comfortable win for Clonkish in this one.
Saturday, Jimmy?
Saturday night you have the Colmkill and Dramard. I was impressed with Dramard in their first 2 games, but they came down with a bang against Kilo, I suppose. Now, they were level at half time, but Kilo in the first 10 minutes of the second half pulled away, similar to what they did against Carrickebban. They went out. And maybe the first 2 games that Dramard had weren't competitive enough for them against Mostram and against Granard, and didn't get them up to that pace that they needed to be at coming up against a team like Kilo the last day. So they'll be a bit better off, a bit ready for it, but I don't think they're going to have enough for Colmkill. Colmkill to win by, again, 3 or 4 points.
And Podgy, Abilara and Mullingar.
Kilo, again, a bit like the Clonkish Fanamani Gales. Both of them vying for top spot, because you see, if you finish top, you avoid each other in the next round. So that's the prize for finishing top. And Jimmy was saying that Dan Mimmin is back, so you could see him make his first appearance this year in the championship. Comfortable win for Kilo. I hope them or Gales don't get hammerings, because that's not good for the game. And it can be in some way competitive, but this is a shoe-in for Kilo, in my opinion.
And Jimmy,
Since Sunday evening, you have the first one there is Abbey against Mullinyacht. I suppose this will be the tie of the weekend. Really, both sides with a great tradition in recent years of winning county titles and doing well. The loser is going to struggle for the last game, so it's hard to call this one. It's going to be tight. The way Abbey played against, I'll go for Abbey by a point maybe. It's going to be very tight, and it could go the other way either, but I'll say Abbey by a point.
and the last one, Slashers and Rathline, is it?
Yeah, Slashers were unlucky last week against Mullinachta. Probably their best performance, but they're getting an awful lot of injury problems. And Ty McNevin has gone for the year ACL, and then you had Sean Morgan going off, centre half back, after about 3 minutes. So these injury problems aren't.
Slashers and Rathline then, Podgy, what do you make of that one?
Well, Rathline are the team in the moment, and going to take an awful lot of beating. Very good forwards, two Kenny, Oren Kenny and Shane. They're another brother as well, I think, Oisin. They have your man is playing really well for Mirla O'Sullivan, generally centre half back. Slashers were unlucky last week against Mullinachta. Injury problems are hitting them. Sean Morgan went off at 3 minutes centre half back. Ty McNevin has gone for the year. So it's a struggle for Slashers, I think, and I'd definitely say Rathline will win this game.
Right, lads. So will we get on to the intermediate and juniors? Jimmy, do you want to take a few of those together?
Yeah, you're looking at the results or a bit of everything?
Yeah, a bit of everything.
I don't get to see these games, unfortunately, when I'm doing commentary on the senior games. So look at it, it's only the results that I'm looking at.
Yeah.
But I suppose a standout one there for me would be Ballymore with a 4-point win over Cashel. I had talked about Cashel being a possibility for the championship this year, and Ballymore just coming up out, well, they're 2 years out of junior, but I would have tipped Cashel to win that one, and for me it's a surprise for Ballymore to win that game. So leaves Cashel under a little bit of pressure now, because look at who have the Ballymahan this weekend. Ballymahan had a good 4-point win over Keena, so Cashel have to turn the thing around, or they could find themselves with 2 losses very quickly,
Because it's two groups of 4, Mick, and only 2 go through of each group, Now, on the Ballymore thing, they have a lot of good young players, and actually there was a son of Derek Fahey's playing for them, Daniel. The county chairman. He's living and married out there to, I think it's a daughter of Willie Monaghan's, I could be wrong. And Willie's an old legend out in Ballymore. You must remember that Ballymore bet Cashel in the championship last year as well.
Right, yeah.
So, but it was a surprise because they weren't going well. But people, the league, you couldn't judge by the league this year because there was players missing in County Jury and the Hurlers and under-20s, and people didn't take the league seriously. So now, this intermediate championship is wide open. I think when I was predicting in the senior, I think I got them all 6 of them right. It's a miracle, but I got them all right, and I got all of them wrong in the intermediate.
Yeah, I got all of them wrong in senior and intermediate.
Well, intermediate just goes to show you how open intermediate is, you know. Yeah.
Any comments there on Ballymahan, lads? Are they doing better than expected?
They seem to be coming back a bit. They seem to be like they had a disaster there when they got relegated and they didn't win a game, and and last year wasn't great for them. But they seem to be. They have a few young players there. That Jack Welch coming in, and is Dara Fitness back or is
no, he's not back yet, but he will be back, and
back
I wouldn't be
too,
surprised if he was back at the weekend.
Yeah, they'll rebuild too, Ballymahan.
They'll be Cashel, they'll go through.
Yeah, there you are. Yeah, they'll be through after 2 games.
You know what I mean? So if they're really serious about doing well in the intermediate championship, then Dara Fitness.
Yeah, he'll add to them.
He'll add to it if he's back. But that remains to be seen, But yeah, Keena probably are in a spot about it there, Jimmy. They're playing Ballymore, getting hard about Ballymore.
Yeah.
Do you want to comment there, Jimmy, on the junior? Or do you want to go?
There's another group in this town.
Well, you have Killashee and Connolly's drew.
Yeah.
So look, it's not a bad result for either of them, I suppose. There, but Killashee have to play hard now this weekend.
That's a key match Friday night. If they were to lose at Killashee, the most they could get is 3 points, And at that stage, you'd be only looking at maybe a head-to-head situation, and they can't go head-to-head now with Connolly's because they drew.
Grattan's are under pressure now.
Yeah,
again
they're under
against
pressure.
Connolly's.
Only lost by a point. They were 7 points down and came back, and only lost by a point. Put in a serious finish. Young Peter Farrell, I think he was on the minor team a couple of years ago, and he scored something like 1-2 or 1-3.
Great name in Ireland, I do football. Farrell's travelling through the years.
Well, now this particular Farrell is playing for Grattan.
Oh, he's a Grattan man. Oh,
yeah.
Peter
Farrell.
No,
I think he was midfield on that minor team. I don't think it was. Maybe it was last year. I just can't remember. The team that won the Leinster, or was it the previous year? But anyway, he's a good prospect. Ireland might do under Liam Keenan. They have very good forwards. Ireland might do. They have, and Killian Farrell back to something like his best now. He was dogged with injury.
Carrigy was he playing?
Carrigy was playing as well, and Lillian Cody and Jeremy Farrell. He was on the county panel. He was a wing forward. So there's a lot at stake here now. The losers it's going to be in a spot of bother. As I say, Connolly's lost the last 2 finals, and the pressure's on them in a lot of ways. And we're lucky to get the draw against Killashee because Killashee kicked 14 wides. That tells his own story. So I'd be thinking, I still think Connolly's will come good because Daniel Reynolds was back playing too after a lengthy injury absence. And still expect Connolly's to get through that group, but I don't know, trying to call it. It's wide open. I've never seen the like of it. That you could see who will end up in the semi-finals, or the final for that matter,
The juniors,
Kerry Slashers are after taking a couple of big beatings, aren't they?
I was talking to one of the star players of the Cashel Juniors there today. He said we still have a chance of qualifying now. They lost to Patrick Cahill.
Right.
Patrick is all geared up. He was a nice bats and all today and everything. And he can't wait now. He doesn't get too many starts, but I think he's going to start. He was going to start against Slashers, and they reckon they'll all win here. 4 out of 6 go through, So.
What time of the day was he in the ice bath?
So sometime this morning.
He wanted in the day, it's 40 degrees today.
He was coming out with the rust again, and he hopped straight into an ice bath. But the team there, league now being the solely junior club. I'd love to see them doing well, going very close to winning the title because, best of luck to the second strings in the whole lot. But league and they're a club, that's their SAS, their junior, and they're going well to win the first 2 games. But they're playing Kilo, a very good, strong second string. So that's going to be a tight one. And then you have Clongish and Columkill. Clongish will probably come out with that. It's looking like Clongish League and Kilo, and then a battle for the last spot in that.
That's 4.
4 out of 6.
Top 4.
Top 4, yeah.
Right, and what is it? 4 plays 1, is it?
I don't know how. I think it's a draw.
Oh, it's an open draw again.
Because it's there's no, because it's only the one group. You see.
Yeah, so there's
6 teams in a top 4.
Jimmy, before we go, you might preview the hurling because.
Well, look at the first round was played there a couple of weeks ago.
And
Slashers against Wolf Tones. Slashers had a 17-point win. Look at the Wolf Tones didn't really hurl at all on the day, and I had said in the previous podcast that Slashers would have more done and would be better prepared, but they dominated the whole game. They were really, really going well. Robbie Stakelum is the manager there now, and they've a lad in from Sligo who's doing a lot of the, the fitness and the tactics and that.
There's Niall involved this year.
Niall is there, but he's not in official capacity. No,
Mm.
he's I think, what do you call them? Director of hurling.
Director of hurling, is it? Oh, yeah.
For Slashers or for the
director,
county?
director of hurling.
For hurling in general, he is the director.
Yeah.
But look at Niall Ward is brilliant.
Great
I
service.
think he's always been a director of sorts.
But Slashers dominated that game. Wolf Tones, as I say, were poor. So now on the 24th, you have Slashers who will play Clongish. So Clongish is first outing. So Slashers win that there in the final, and then it'll be down, which they should win, I'd say, handy enough. So then it'll be down to Wolf Tones and Clongish in the final game to see who'll join Slashers in the final. So, but at this stage, it's Slashers to lose by a long way,
Very good.
And just before you go, let's not. The ladies' championship is ongoing. and there was matches played. It started last weekend.
Sorry, can I interrupt you there now, Podgy?
Yeah.
I don't know what to start
So,
with the ladies.
We already we've moved that over to a group of very professional punters.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah,
but
so we don't want to know from you because as far as I can figure out, you know nothing.
I know that.
No, we're doing a separate podcast for the women.
And but for my tuppence worth, Mick.
Yes. Do you want to come on to the podcast team as well?
No, I will leave that to somebody else. There's no point just hogging it. But if Clonkish are going, or Slashers are going for 7 in a row, it'd be a fair achievement if they do it. And all their players are back, and they're actually playing Clonkish next Sunday morning in the group stage. So to give you an idea, Clonkish is probably their.
Yeah, that'll be
There's a fair bit of rivalry there because
Yeah.
you know, they met in the semi-final of the league, didn't they?
They did. Slasher got an injury time goal to win that, and ended up winning the league for the 3rd year in a row.
Yeah, yeah.
But like all them titles, like it's a credit to the club. But as I say,
who's on your panel for the ladies podcast?
Una Shanley
Yeah.
and Michelle Mulvey.
Right,
Yeah.
and will you be bringing them out to the forest like this, or will you be getting a nice plush sort of a reception
Well,
area in a nice hotel? or
We've
something?
scheduled the first podcast tomorrow in Newcastle Woods, and we're having a beautiful sit-down table, relaxing chairs, a couple of nice soft drinks, or something else, and also some fairy lights. You know, you might be interested in the fairy lights.
You stuck up us up in a couple of high nellies and made us drive our cycle.
But sure, one of you wouldn't do it.
I nearly got killed.
Wait till you
If it was
see
going
the-
any faster, I'd be out on
Now,
the
are we
road.
going to be able to use that footage, Podgy?
Oh, you can if you want to.
Yeah.
Wait till you see the production quality of the women's now. And why he's calling it?
We haven't the name yet.
Well, don't be the underlap.
Now, lads, can I just
So,
say,
can I,
you were nothing when I came to you. You were
is
nothing.
this
And
live
look at
now?
us now.
What do you mean live?
This is not live. Or you can edit it all you like.
Oh yeah, but sure, Podgy, do you mean to say that do you think I'd be able to send that out live now? Although I'd say you could, but not with the trees.
No, but you know what? I'm not interrupting the ladies thing now, because
Oh no, I'll cut you out.
no, but it'd be no harm just to give it. No harm for us to ignore it at the same time.
No, it's
No,
really
mention it anyways. That's all. If you don't mind,
No, no ask.
because.
But tell us, Podgy, it would be nigh impossible to cover the women's matches as well. It would.
Because they're all on at the same time.
Yeah, but
Jimmy, was
this-
there a match there Friday evenings?
Friday evening, Slashers were playing in the ladies' competition and they were playing in the men's competition.
At
And
the
they
same
just
time.
is it
again,
not
gotta
possible for
cooperate.
is it not possible for the club PRO to write a short report and even just send it in?
If they could do that, it'd be great. We'd use it.
Yeah.
But my own opinion, if the PRO could compile the results and what happened and send in the piece,
You'd put it together.
of course we would, and the space is there, and we'd have to.
Well, now, having said that, I know for a PRO the job is not easy. And, you know, the job of a PRO is not easy. You probably need 2 or 3 people PRO, and depending on the size of the club.
Yeah, you need just to give a brief rundown of what way it was.
Well, look at lads, thanks very much anyway. And Jimmy, thanks for coming with me on the cycle.
Oh, no problem,
Podgy,
look at that.
you did your best, but let's put it this way. You have a lot of work to put in before the Tour de France 2026.
I seen the time I could run through that forest quicker than any man.
And I want to give a shout out to the one and only Sarah Lee Green from the Foul Grieve Barn actually, in the Rose of Tralee, representing now from the Rose of Tralee. We're going down to Tralee and we're going to have drinks with all the roses.
Have you ever been at it before, Jimmy?
No.
I was there with my nephew Rory, that's in Australia.
Yes.
And she's over and obviously was in Australia with him. We had a great time, one of the best. We spent 5 days drinking.
I wouldn't be able to.
Was that because, was she a rose or something? No.
She was a rose.
Oh, she was a rose, yeah.
She was the Longford Rose.
Yeah, yeah.
And,
So obviously you had skin in the game, as the fella says.
Yeah, and
Same.
the whole family was down, and her family, and you know.
And you know, it's one of those iconic festivals. Has it outrun its time,
No,
do you
I
think?
wouldn't
No.
think it had. It
She
was,
was the one who run its time before the weekend
Yes,
anyway.
I know, yeah,
So
yeah.
the-
Hold on
But you
for
know,
me.
younger people,
oh, they're it's
into it
a
as
street
much.
festival, and there's
Sure, the girls are young.
be live bands there and all. What you call it, the Queen tributes and Abbott tributes. They're all down at the man.
Well, kneecap, yeah, no.
No, I don't know about that.
Well, okay, folks. Thanks to our pundits, Jimmy and Podgy. And as Brendan Riley would often say, would you do us a favour, look after yourselves and try to be nice to people around you because you just don't know what they may be going through. Good luck, folks.
Good luck, folks.
And remember, log on to jimmyjess.com and buy tickets for my show, for God's sake. Who's laughing now? If you don't come to me, nobody laughing. Good luck, good luck, good luck, good luck.
Is there any chance you're going to pay us for royalties?
Yeah,
Watch
I will,
yourselves
yeah.
there now.
We get run over.